Hi, welcome to Queer Reality Tarot. This is sort of an intro to the actual collective reading that I'm doing for January for everybody. This is a pick from 3 different readings, and you can just skip to the chapter that gets to yours. I don't have my mic. I'm at home, actually feeling a little bit sick, but I really wanted to share, before you get into the reading, this collective theme that came up that I thought was really interesting. You'll see that I've got you pick from one of 3 images, and then from that you're guided into your particular reading. And what was interesting is I used the same deck, and I kept getting, this is the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the one we're really often familiar with. This is another interpretation. It oftentimes has a heart with the 3 swords. So that card came out kind of like, I guess this is a spoiler alert, but it felt worth mentioning because I didn't want to wait for folks who drop out after their reading to not hear this at the end. That card was pulled for every single reading. And so I ended up thinking, well, God, maybe my deck is sticky or something weird is happening. So I ended up later, like after I finished this video, I went to another one, and I did just a reading for Virgos with a different deck. Lo and behold, what did I draw? That same flippin' 3 of Swords from a different tarot deck. And if you're somebody who draws tarot cards on a regular basis, you definitely will notice, like, oh man, I have been really getting the Strength card like over and over again or whatever. There are these kind of like helping spirits, whatever is your cosmology, is really trying to point something out to us. And so I initially was thinking about the grief card as being for that unique individual person. But after drawing it for 4 readings in a row and using a different deck, I was really like feeling into, okay, what is the message here? Because and another card that is repetitively came up for at least 2 or 3 was the Chariot card, which is this really strong movement, momentum forward. And then thinking about that being coupled with the grief card, it really feels like, honestly, if the 3 of Swords could have a baby with the Chariot card, it would be probably the Tower card, as far as there's so many things to feel grief about right now. Oh, and on top of it, somebody just gifted me a Martine Prechtel book yesterday, the same day I did those readings where the grief card kept coming up, and he talks a lot to American cultured people about how we weren't taught to feel grief, to deal with grief, to process grief, and that it's just the other side of praise. The reason we grieve is because there's something we praise, there's something we love. And so thinking about how so many things are moving fast, we got that Chariot energy with like old structures breaking apart. Like for a lot of us, well, I'm thinking about like governmentally and politically, and then also in our own individual lives, so many people have had end of relationships, end of jobs, end of like where they live, these huge changes. And so we have to get good at feeling the grief and not holding on to it too much. But when it work on practicing how to sort of like excrete it, take it to the woods, to the river, to the pillow, to work it through, and then to also bring in balance and counterbalance with that which you praise. And it is such strong emotions, like what do we do with that? Even, when there's things that we praise and we love so much, it kind of hurts. So it's really getting good at like being able to let that go, flow it through, and that's the way to live life as much as we can, is to ebb and flow. It's also making me think of, if you've read Octavia Butler, The Parable of the Sower, where basically the protagonist comes to worship change. Like change is God. God is change. I don't know if that's exactly how she said it, but that's kind of like the general concept. And so I feel like collectively, it's kind of like giving us a heads up that it's the grief, the letting go of things that we had been holding on to, that's not going to go away. And so it's like we really are being invited in to just get really good at that, transmuting, learning, growing, expanding, letting things crumble to make room for something new to grow. So yeah, so that's my introduction, the thing I just really noticed and wanted to make sure everybody heard. And now for the actual readings. Thanks for listening. Hi, welcome to Queer Reality Tarot. My name is Ro, and today I'm going to be doing a collective reading for the month of January 2026. There'll be 3 separate readings, so you're going to just pick your favorite image. I just got some new angel oracle cards, so you're going to pick one of 3 angels, and then that will be the reading that you get based on which one you choose. So I'm going to go ahead and switch cameras here. So here are the 3 angels that I randomly selected. We have number 2, Archangel Raphael, number 13, Archangel Sandalphon, and number 4, Archangel Uriel. So without thinking too hard about it, go ahead and pick which of these most draws you. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start with Archangel Raphael for the first reading. So thinking about the month of January 2026 for you. So we're wrapping up the year of the snake. We've got about a month and a half left of shedding. Let's see what comes up. So I'm going to do a 5-card spread. Current situation, recent past, likely future, what's underlying that, a message from spirit, and then we'll do 3 sort of like prescription cards on what to do, what to focus on. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut the deck, and we're gonna go with this one. Okay, so the current situation, we have the awakening card, recent past, 9 of emotions, likely future, 3 of voices, what's underlying this, 3 of emotions, and then message from spirit is the world. Oh wow. Okay, and we're going to draw 3 more cards too, but I like to do this part first. So the current situation is the awakening card. This card is number 20. It's a major arcana card. You got 2 major arcana cards, 2 emotions cards, and then a voices card. So in a more traditional deck, more common deck, voices would be swords and emotions would be cups. And then another word for awakening is, in some decks, it's called the judgment card. And this card comes right before the world. So it's kind of considered like the end of a cycle, or sort of like leveling up. If you were in a video game and leveling up, this would be like the next reality you would be in. So the current situation, this is saying that you've come into this awareness of sort of like a higher perspective. You can see the mountains down below here, and the person is looking up. Actually, right now, they're actually looking towards the world, the way I have these set up. But they're really plugging in. You can see the cosmos like blended with their body. There's like a comet in their neck. So it's saying currently you're really coming into this realization of sort of a higher perspective of the everyday sort of 3D, like the things that are going on. The major arcana cards are kind of like the big soul goals or soul movement, or sometimes soul hurdles. And then the minor arcana are kind of like the little things that are happening in the everyday sort of play of life that support your soul goals. So this is saying that you really are coming into this greater awareness of kind of seeing things from a higher perspective, from more of a spiritual, all-encompassing kind of eagle-eye view. In the recent past, this is the card of, like, it's called the wish card, is one nickname that I've heard for it. And here you can see there's like a genie's lamp that you rub to make 3 wishes, or to get 3 wishes come true. And you see these gems surrounding this person. And the element for emotions is water, but here they are lifting up off the earth. And once again, like mountains in this card, you've got this grounded mountainous region back here. and being lifted into the air. So this is saying in the recent past, and I'm going to say it seems that this kind of is flowing into this awakening, is kind of this realization of when you really focus your mind on something, when you really, it's not just wishing, it's more than that. It's, also believing in yourself and taking action, but you did something differently, or there was something that happened that kind of helped you feel into this sort of higher perspective of autonomy, agency, intention, alignment with what you're here to do. So this is this really beautiful kind of awareness. And underneath all of this is the Three of Emotions. And this card is about sort of like our soul siblings, like the people that are kind of ride or dies, the people who know us, love us, support us. In this tarot card, it looks like the same person, but you could almost think of it as being like triplets or something, like that's how close they are. So that's underneath all of this. So it could literally be two people that are in your life who really, really support you, family members, friends, or it could just be a small community or your family. It's a small number of people that really support you. It can also honestly be a sort of gelling of different aspects of yourself, like really coming into yourself and who you are, different aspects of who you are, and being your beautiful, multi-leveled, complex self. But generally speaking, it is literally other people in your life. And the emotions cards are they're really focused on relationships, usually with other people. So you got a 3 there and another 3 here. So it's saying in the near future, this is the card of heartbreak, deep, deep, deep heartbreak in the Smith Rider Waite deck, the deck that a lot of tarot decks nowadays are inspired by. It has the heart with the 3 swords going into it. So this is saying that we'll do 3 more cards that I think will help offer some clarity. But it's either you're going to be finishing up sort of a working through and letting go of a deep, deep grief in your life. And yeah, which based on this, I think that is what this is that it is going to be, you're not quite done. Like as we have a month left of the snake season, there's something here that's going to bubble up, or you're kind of really feeling present, that needs to be transmuted, let go of, kind of like softening your grip and letting it transmute, compost, release. And that this message from Spirit is with this realization you've had, and this kind of some of the final sort of clear, not that those things always completely go away, but we can really get over a hurdle as far as holding on and then releasing. So when you do that, you're really leveling up into this new version of yourself, this sort of new reality. So let's do 3 medicine cards. So you've got the Page of Materials, the Lover's card, and Ace of Emotions. Oh, interesting. Okay. So like I said, I like to think of these as kind of like a prescription. So if you imagined the reading you just had was like, this is the situation, and now it's like, okay, Spirit, well, ancestor, your higher self, whatever is in your belief system, is going to write on a little notepad, here are the 3 things to focus on. So really related to this card, this one is about youthful energy. Like the page is when we very first move out of the home for a lot of us, this kind of like energetic potential of like things you can do. Like I could live on my own, I could live with my friends, I can buy whatever food I want. This is about on your little prescription to really get clear on what it is you want to bring into reality. Because this card is saying with that energy and with that sort of innocent like enthusiasm, that what you imagine will become in the physical world. The materials, that's the same as Pentacles, what you imagine will come true. So very much like this wish card. So to get really focused on what your intention is. And then we have the Lover's card, which is I feel like it's kind of underscoring this card. This is about being in sacred union with another person. This can be in sacred union with yourself. you're getting this message of just really focusing on where you have those deep, authentic heart connections with people. And the relationships that don't fit with that, it's ready to let those go. Because your last prescription is the Ace of Emotions. This is just like the World card. It's a new cycle. This is a new way of being in relationship with yourself and with others. So it's very much about your whole reading is really about stepping into this new version of how you relate to others, that this realization of the power, autonomy, agency that you have. And with these things, you're going to be really stepping into this new, it's like a leveling up, like a new video game. And I also want to read one little summary of this. So Archangel Raphael. So the keywords are healing, health, and intuition. Archangel Raphael appears in many of the world's religious texts and belief systems, including Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, and he is a central figure for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. His name means God heals, and he is recognized as a healing angel in many religions and spiritual belief systems, as well as being available to call on for any kinds of healing, such as physical healing, emotional healing, heart healing, spiritual or energetic healing. This really feels like it's speaking to this. Raphael is also considered a patron saint of medical workers and healers, travelers and sailors, and a protector of pilgrims. Archangel Raphael aligns with the third eye and heart chakras. He can help you gain a deeper understanding of unity consciousness and to know that whatever you heal within yourself, you also do for others. Beautiful. And so part of that is giving yourself lots of rest as well. Okay, that is your reading. I hope that resonates. It's really a beautiful, it feels very related to the collective as far as what I've been hearing, like astrologically, what's been happening in people's lives. This leveling up and letting go of relationships, jobs, homes, all the things that you just kind of start to get sick of it. Oh yeah, and this card just kind of wanted to fall out. So this is kind of underscoring this. This is Four of Voices, is the card of burnout. So literally you can have yourself take warm baths, put rose petals, love on yourself, be your own lover, connect to the multidimensional, the cosmos. Beautiful. Okay. So reading 2, we have Archangel Sandalphon. Okay, so I'm going to do a 5-card spread. Current situation, recent past, likely future, what's underlying that, and a message from Spirit. And I'll retell you what those mean as when I do the reading. And you got a bonus card. Let's see what that is. Ooh, Death. One of my favorite cards. Put that right here. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, we're going to go with this one. Okay, so we have the current situation. Ooh, the Strength card. You've got 2 major arcana cards. Boom. Recent past. So the Muse is the equivalent of Kings in this deck. Okay. Let's move these up a little bit. Just want to make sure I don't get the microphone in this because it screws up the focus. Okay, and then we have the likely future, another King card. Wow, or Muse. What's underlying that? And then a message from Spirit. 9 of Inspiration. So Inspiration is the equivalent of Wands in a more common deck. Emotions are Cups, and here you've got another emotion. So you've got 2 Wands or Inspiration, Strength, 10 of Materials or Pentacles. Let's see if we can kind of get all these in. Okay, and then you've got your bonus card, Death. So basically that tends to be just another message from Spirit. So we'll get into that in a second. And then I'm going to do 3 more sort of like prescription cards. Okay. Just going to move these up. Okay, so the current situation, and we're going to go ahead and actually, I'm being drawn to reference this right away. So we've got this sort of death is basically the loss of something huge, and it could be a literal person in your life. It can be a very important or big relationship. It can be an aspect of yourself. It's something that's generally disorienting, but hugely important for why you're here, like your soul goals and such. So, and that kind of like being part of what's flowing into the Strength card. This card I think of as being like a humble strength. It's like a quiet strength. It's so strong that it doesn't even need to be showy, and it's got this infinity symbol. So kind of what's been coming into where you are right now, like this sort of like inner anchoring that you're either, it feels like you're kind of like on the edge of it, you're just starting to really feel into it. And the fact that you have 2 Muse or 2 King cards on either side of that, it's really pointing towards you're like holding it down for yourself. I think of the Divine Masculine, take that phrase however, adjust it to however it resonates with you. But I think of like the Divine Feminine as being the full spectrum of creation, and then the Divine Masculine is kind of holding the boundary, holding space for that. So you're really in this place of holding it down for yourself. And it's just this really beautiful inner anchoring that's come out of this death that happened. And up here, we've got this message from Spirit that's really celebrating you in that. This is kind of like a person on stage with the lights and everybody's looking at them. And the element for inspiration is fire, but you can see like these beautiful earth, rocky formations. So it's very grounded, but it's celebrating this accomplishment, like that which you've come into, what you've overcome, and what you're really feeling into. This is very powerful and strong. And underneath all of this is the 10 of Materials. And this is about, and this would be Pentacles in a more traditional deck. And this is really about community. So underlying all this is being supported by community, wanting to create and being part of creating this beautiful community. And within that, you're really holding it down for yourself. It's gorgeous. So that's the current situation. Let's do 3 cards that are kind of like if Spirit, well, ancestor, higher self were to write a little prescription paper, what you would be focusing on. Wow, we have the Chariot card, another major arcana card. Those are about the big things in life. 3 of Voices, this is the Grief card, and Page of Voices. So you've got 2 voices. These are swords, the element of air. The Chariot, like I said, is a major arcana card. So this is big stuff here. Death, strength, the Chariot. You got 3 big soul movement cards. The Chariot is about really harnessing like sacred power. I honestly kind of think of this card as being like sacred sexuality, this pure creation energy. And see how this person, they're like harnessing the movement of these horses and being led by this star here up at their like crown chakra or maybe third eye and coming out of their sacral. It's this very aligned North Star, just beautiful. There's the cosmos in their body, this strong movement forward. So it's like you're being propelled forward in the most sacred of ways. So it's basically like, I'm getting like, have faith. That's what's on your little prescription. Have faith in the moving forward. Believe in yourself. Keep your eye on your North Star. The 3 of Voices, this is the Grief card. So this is about doing the work to release, transmute, compost any grief that you feel. You might feel it in your like upper chest. If you start to feel that feeling, go to the woods, cry into the earth. Look for ways to just care for your heart. This is about release and healing. So there is some work to be done on that. And then the Page of Voices, this is about the page energy is like for a lot of us when we first move out of the home, there's a lot of like enthusiastic excitement. This is the element of air. It can also be a card of feeling sort of overwhelmed with so many ideas. So the mountains here are a reminder to ground yourself. But this is really about reveling and being excited about the new ideas, the new potential as you're holding it down for yourself, coming back to that full spectrum of expression. As you hold it down for yourself, what are you making space for? What is it in you that is ready to be created? So yeah, beautiful. And then let me read a quick little summary on this archangel. Let's see, sorry, I'm getting my stuff all crowded here. Okay, so number 13. So Archangel Sandalphon is the angel who can deliver your prayers to the divine on your behalf. He is the angel of music and the bridge between heaven and earth. Working with the earth star chakra, Archangel Sandalphon can help you activate and ground your energy into the earth in a deeper and more conscious and connected way. Wow, that's totally like this card right here. This can help you to stay grounded in the truth of who you are and in your own soul purpose and path. Archangel Sandalphon is a powerful angel to call upon whenever you feel your prayers are not being heard. Okay, beautiful. Hope that resonates with y'all. Stack 2. And now for the third group, we have Archangel Uriel. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a 5-card spread with 3 bonus cards. We'll do current situation, recent past, likely future, what's underlying, and a message from spirit, well, ancestor, whatever resonates with you and your cosmology. Just going to move this a little bit. Okay. And I'll remind you of what the placements are again. Ooh, I wanted to pull that look like a little bonus card. So 7 of inspiration. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull apart 3 stacks here. Okay, which one is yours? I'm going to go with this one. Okay, so current situation, 10 of materials, recent past, muse of emotions, likely future, 7, the chariot, what's underlying that, the moon. So you've got 2 major arcana cards, and then message from spirit is ace of materials. So you've got 2 material cards, or pentacles as they would be called in a more traditional deck. You've got inspiration, which would be wands, and then you've got cups. Okay, so in the current situation, it's showing harmony or a focus on creating harmony within your community or your family. You can see that through that harmony, look at how the energy, I don't know if you can see this. Let's see if this can focus. Yeah, see the little dots going up along the trunk? That's coming from the people. So it's basically like the community or the family is the like the, what's it called? Not compost, but oh my God. Like the richness that we put into the soil. I can't think of what it's called, but so that's the current situation. In the recent past, it's showing within this context that you really, would be a king card in a more traditional deck. So this is saying that you really held it down for yourself. You can think of this card as being sort of like divine masculine as far as boundaries and protecting yourself, protecting your loved ones. But it's really bringing in a mature, grounded boundaried protection energy within the context of family and community. And underneath all of that, we have the Moon card, which is really about inner intuition, not always knowing exactly what's coming next, or not always knowing what path to take, but really taking that time for that inner knowing, kind of sitting in the dark and trusting your intuition. So yeah, there's this beautiful balance of trusting yourself, and through trusting yourself, really being able to hold it down for yourself and others within the community and family context. And it's saying in the near future, kind of drawing on this, kind of think of this as circling around. Here we've got this energy coming from the sacral or the solar plexus and like the third eye or the crown. It's this very aligned, and their eyes are closed. This kind of being pulled by this really sacred inner power, empowerment of movement forward that you really can't stop. It's like happening. It's like knocking on your door with a lot of energy and force to move forward. And here, the message from Spirit, Ace of Materials, these are all these little seeds. These are all seeds. This is saying that with this energy to plant different seeds of potential. And this might literally be where you want to live. Maybe the community you're in doesn't feel right, or maybe what your sense of what family is, planting seeds for something new, something different. This is about a new cycle. Or it could just be because you're really stepping into this inner knowing, boundaried, beautiful, holding it down, that it has potential to just have this totally different version of itself. So it's like a new cycle, a new version of the world you create for yourself, your home life, your community, your family. I really see you as being a leader in that. There's a lot of leadership. And this bonus card that you got from Spirit, this card is about, so 7 of inspiration. Inspiration is wands, element of fire. So this person is pushing away negative self-talk, imposter syndrome, maybe people kind of like the haters or something. This is about pushing all that away, all those voices, to really open up and step into your grounded, inner knowing, kind of guiding, supporting your community and family, that role that you're being invited into, to be brave and planting new seeds and doing things differently. So yeah, just really gorgeous. Okay, so we're going to draw 3 more cards, thinking of this is the current situation, and kind of building on this, what is the advice from Spirit as far as what you focus on right now? Like, what are the crumbs? You got another King or Muse card. So Muse of Inspiration, you got Wands again. Oh, and you got the other card that relates to harmony in relationship and family, and the 3 of Voices. Wow, this card came up for all 3 readings. It must be well, that's interesting, because I just went to this kind of stretches, ceremony, journeying workshop this weekend, and I arrived there just feeling so good and so aligned and honestly excited, even though there are so many things that are so hard, like just the way I'm able to connect with people and be of service. I felt really good. And like midway through the journey is all this grief, like this ball in my upper chest. It's like it was like getting kind of shoved out, like it was being extracted. And I left like being like, oh my God. And I talked to somebody else who was like, man, I need to go to the river to like let go of some things. So I really think this is in the collective. The fact that experience I had this weekend, and then getting this card for every single reading today, is amazing. And I keep my cards really perfect, so it's not like it's bent or something. So first of all, the Muse of Inspiration is really connected. It's almost like if these 2 cards had a baby. This is really about holding it down for what you create. Inspiration or the Wands, fire, to just really be courageous, stay aligned, like and balanced. I love how these cards always have balance, because the King energy, the Muse energy, can also sometimes be controlling. So it's about being very balanced and being humble as you kind of hold it down for yourself and others, and in this case for your community. So here it's the same theme. You have the 10 of materials, now you have the 10 of emotions. This is about really aiming for and feeling into and focusing your attention and energy on events, contexts that really bring harmony and connection within your small community or your family. So really focusing on that. This is making me think of a quilt, and every person is like sewing one little piece. So when you think of the divine masculine, it's about like holding space for people to each get to be their piece of the puzzle, not like telling everybody what to do, not doing it all yourself. It's about holding it down for others to be part of that creation. So that's really beautiful. And then this card is just to really, in the Rider Smith Waite, whatever, the old school deck that a lot of tarot decks are based on. I always get the names mixed up, which order they go in. But this has the heart with the 3 swords. So this is the deep, deep grief card. So this is just about, even though there's a lot of joyful potential and all this excitement around creation within community and family, that to pay attention to any leftover griefs. If you feel it, don't shove it down. Go to the woods and cry into the soil. Hold your hand on your heart. Breathe, to keep working on letting go. If there are any like things you feel, you can notice you're really grasping, if you can soften your grasp, if you can find forgiveness, to just keep allowing that to move through you, that's going to help keep your energy flow going, and keep those blocks from being too calcified. And then we've got Archangel Uriel. I want to read what that card says here. Okay, so number 4, and number 4 is the card of stability, like a 4-legged table. Okay, so Archangel Uriel's name means fire or light of God, and he is the angel that can help you turn your ideas into your reality. Archangel Uriel can help activate and open up the crown chakra so you can receive divine wisdom with more clarity and ease. He also helps to activate the solar plexus so you can take that wisdom and use it to make positive changes in your own life and world around you. Wow, it sounds like the Chariot card. Archangel Uriel is a powerful angel to work with for those who identify as light workers. Okay, another beautiful reading. Okay, thank you so much for listening. I hope that resonated with you, and I hope that your January, that the lessons are as painless as possible, and I hope you're able to find joy and have fun, as well as holding space for all the hard stuff. So take care, and I look forward to the next reading. Okay, bye.